What if the one person everyone trusted was hiding the truth the entire time? For 65 days, this case has been a complete mystery. No suspects, no answers, just silence. But now, that silence has been shattered. A daughter has finally spoken out, and what she revealed is something no one, not even investigators, was prepared for. This isn't just an update. This could be the moment that changes everything. Because what she admitted may completely rewrite the story of her mother's disappearance. It appears investigators are now focusing on the home of NY's other daughter, Annie Guthrie. The forensic team has been inside the garage, and flashes from cameras have been seen. For 65 days, we've watched the search for Nancy Guthrie with more questions than answers. The evidence was cold, the leads were dry, and the family was silent. But that silence just ended in the most explosive way possible. NY's daughter has finally come forward, and her confession is the one thing no one, not even investigators, saw coming. Is this the breakthrough that closes the case? Or is it the start of a much darker chapter? Here is exactly what she said. For over 2 months, the chair next to Hoda Kotb has been empty. One of America's most recognizable voices, completely silent. While the FBI searched the Arizona desert, and a $1 million reward sat untouched, Savannah Guthrie was nowhere to be found. But today, that silence ended. She didn't just return to the Today Show desk. She came forward with something far more powerful. A confession that shocked both investigators and the public. This wasn't a prepared statement. It wasn't scripted. It was raw, emotional, and deeply revealing. For weeks, this case has been filled with dead ends. From the masked figure caught on camera at 1:47 a.m. to the chilling digital trail that suddenly went dark. Nothing made sense. Until now. With Savannah's words, the pieces are finally starting to shift. Why did she wait 2 months to speak? What was the family protecting? And what does this confession reveal about Nancy Guthrie's fate? To understand the weight of this moment, we have to go back to where it all began. Saturday night, January 31st, Tucson, Arizona. Nancy Guthrie spent the evening at her daughter Annie's home. Everything seemed normal. There were no signs of tension, no arguments, no warning that anything was about to go wrong. By 9:50 p.m., she was dropped back at her house. She walked inside. The garage door closed. That was the last confirmed moment anyone saw her alive. But what happened next feels like something out of a nightmare. Just hours later, in the dead of night, something or someone approached her home. At exactly 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera was suddenly disabled by a masked individual wearing gloves. This wasn't random. This wasn't a glitch. This was someone who knew exactly what they were doing. Minutes later, motion was detected again. The FBI later recovered back-end footage showing an armed figure tampering with the system. He wasn't just passing by. He wasn't lost. He was inside the perimeter, and he came prepared. Then came the most chilling moment in the entire timeline. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker monitor failed to send its scheduled signal. It simply stopped. No transmission. No data. Nothing. Investigators now believe that whatever happened to Nancy happened within that narrow window of time. A window of just a few minutes. The next morning, everything seemed wrong. Nancy didn't show up for her regular church livestream. That alone was enough to raise concern. By 11 a.m., a call was made to the family. By noon, police were involved. And what they found inside the house only deepened the mystery. Her phone was still there. Her belongings untouched. Her medication left behind. Nancy had serious mobility issues. There is no scenario where she walks out of that house willingly and leaves everything behind. Investigators immediately knew this was not a disappearance. This was something else. Something far more serious. The search operation launched quickly. Search teams covered miles of desert. Drones scanned the terrain. Dogs tracked scents that led nowhere. Federal agencies stepped in. Resources poured into the case. But despite all of that, there was nothing. No trace. No confirmed sightings. No clear direction. And then, everything changed. Evidence inside the home pointed to a violent struggle. Blood was discovered near the entrance. Forensic testing confirmed it belonged to Nancy. That one detail shifted the entire investigation. This was no longer a missing person case. This was an abduction, possibly worse. The doorbell camera had been removed. The scene had been disturbed. And the one person who needed help the most was gone. As the days turned into weeks, the case started to slow down. Leads dried up. Public attention began to fade. Until investigators released something that changed everything. The footage. A masked man, standing at the door, armed, focused, watching. His movements were deliberate, controlled. He tried to block the camera. He used whatever he could to hide his identity. But he made mistakes. And those mistakes may be what leads investigators straight to him. Because when experts analyzed his gear, they noticed something unusual. This wasn't high-end equipment. It wasn't tactical or professional. It was basic, cheap, easily available. A low-cost holster, a common backpack. Items that could be traced back to local stores. That told investigators something important. This wasn't a trained professional. This was someone improvising. Someone who planned just enough, but not perfectly. And that's where the cracks begin to show. While all of this was unfolding, Savannah Guthrie stayed completely silent. No interviews, no updates, no public appearances. She stepped away from everything. Her show, her career, her public life. For over 2 months. Nothing. And that silence became its own mystery. People started asking questions. Why wasn't she speaking? What was she holding back? Was it strategy? Or something else? Now we finally have an answer. Her return wasn't just emotional. It was deeply personal. She admitted the truth behind that silence. The fear, the helplessness, the endless nights without answers. She spoke about waking up in the dark, unable to escape the thoughts in her mind, imagining what her mother may have gone through, questioning everything, even her own faith. This wasn't about hiding information. This was about surviving pain. The kind of pain that doesn't go away. The kind that follows you into every quiet moment. And now, with her finally speaking out, everything is beginning to shift. Investigators are re-examining timelines. New attention is being brought to old evidence. And the public is watching closer than ever. Because this case is no longer frozen. It's moving again. And that changes everything. Now the focus turns to one question. Who is the man behind the mask? Because he didn't just appear out of nowhere. He planned this. He studied the house. He knew the timing. He understood how to disable the system. That level of detail doesn't come from chance. It comes from knowledge. And possibly familiarity. Which raises an even darker possibility. Was this truly random? Or was Nancy targeted? As investigators dig deeper, one thing becomes clear. The answers are out there, hidden in the timeline, buried in the evidence, waiting to be connected. And now, with Savannah finally breaking her silence, those pieces may finally start coming together. The question is no longer just what happened that night. The real question now is, who did this, and how close are investigators to finding them? Because for the first time in 65 days, this case is no longer standing still, and the next breakthrough could change everything. Fire,